It's honestly, it breaks my heart just thinking about the incoming, like there's no longer incoming students right now just because we're so unsure of the future of PTP and how the funding works.
The program that recruits teachers of color to our public schools is in danger of ending. Students currently in the program at Portland State University are still able to participate, but they worry about the future of the popular program. It was the focus of Inside Woodlawn, Episode 2. Cristin Severance joins us now with more on why this program is in danger. It's critical, Cristin.
It's so important, and the whole goal of the Portland Teachers Program is to get teachers of color in schools. We told you last night as we interviewed a group of PTP graduates and current teachers at Woodlawn, the program is a partnership between Portland Community College, Portland State University. So students get tuition waivers and then get jobs as teachers at Portland or Beaverton schools. Teachers say this isn't just a scholarship program for teachers of color. They say this is a deeply philosophical program that demands the practice of core values, including vision, compassion, and activism. Now, after 30 years and 230 graduates, the program is in danger. The program is no longer accepting new students as they figure out funding for the coming years. That means current students like Unique Robinson and Emily Wynn, they're student teachers at Woodlawn Elementary School, they may be some of the last PTP graduates.
And so I'm constantly just thinking about what the future can hold, whether that's new partnerships with other universities or whether that's funding from the state, whatever that is. But there's something needs to happen for us to continue to do the work that we are doing.
So Portland Community College said their commitment has not changed, but they told me the program cannot continue as it is now in the future without the full tuition waivers from Portland State. So we did reach out to Portland State University, and I actually just got off the phone with the Dean of the College of Education. He said they are committed to continuing PTP. He said current students enrolled in PTP will get the full tuition waivers. He said the cost of the program exceeded what they had available in the budget, so they have to look outside their budget to support the increased cost. So what does that mean for future students? Could be partial tuition, could be full tuition if they're able to find the funds. And Dean Marvin Lynn said PSU is meeting with all the partners over the next few weeks to figure this out. He was adamant that PTP is not going away, but he did admit that it could look different than it does today. And Kathy, that's what a lot of the graduates are worried about. They say if it looks different than it does today, then it's not the PTP that's really existed for the last 30 years.
Well, glad you were able to touch base with the dean there and get that update for us. Cristin, thank you.